It's not an addiction. I can quit anytime I want. Good morning, Glue Troopers. I came out here to the Tarbis today solely to grab some glue for my road build. I didn't have it in my bag. And next thing I know, I'm sanding and filing and back to work. And I have to go to work today, so I don't have much time for this. So it's not an addiction. Coffee's an addiction. Building models, I can quit anytime I want. But who wants to quit? So last night I was going to come out here and grab the glue. I realized I hadn't put any in my bag, but it was raining. I mean, it was coming down in buckets. So my wife, we had the lights and air conditioner on in here, and I was going to just go out in the rain. And you know, it's only 15 feet from the house or so, but my wife was like, you know, you're going to get drenched. You're in your pajamas, yeah, and she's right. And so she said, why don't you just, the circuit breakers for the shed are in the kitchen, why don't you just, you know, I was like, well, okay. So I just popped circuit breakers, light and AC went off, flip them on this morning, come back, and all this was just to grab a little glue. And of course this morning I wanted to shoot my video in here, just, you know, mix it up a little bit. And I mean a little bit. Then of course I see these models, oh, you know, it'll just take a minute to put another shot of Mr. Primer on them, you know, get the underside and everything. And of course, next thing I know, I'm just grinding away and reputting and everything else. And I was like, okay, you have to go to work today. You have to finish packing your bag. You have to take your shower. Just 5 minutes more. And I'm sure it's happened to all of us. The this trip's going to be mostly down in the Caribbean. So I'm taking that Panavia. Okay, I'll start my argument for the morning. Is Panavia Tornado or Panavia Tornado? And you know, tomato, tomato, potato, potato, tornado, tornado. Might be a song on that. Because that's how my mind works. But that's really all I got for you this morning. I am happy to report that after sanding the primer on the, which is a Tamiya product, on the GB, sanded down those blemishes, sanded down without any problem. Went ahead and got the sanding sticks and everything and got to cranking on it and used about 4 different levels of sanding sticks to get it smooth again. I want to make it like if they'd made it with a metal wing, so I wanted to get rid of all of those, you know, all the wing ribs and the end number and decal positioners and painting guides that Hawk had originally put on there and give it more of a smooth wing. I'll probably add, like, instead of all the little strut brakes, since I'm going to make it an RG, I'll probably, retractable gear, I'll probably add like one strong strut to it, one aerodynamic strut on the upper side of the wing, because I don't think they would have gone from completely rigged to no rigging in one leap. Although the Germans kind of did that, you know, the Fokker had gotten rid of a lot of the rigging, and if you look at the DR1 triplane, it almost has no rigging. In fact, and the D7 doesn't have much either. But one of the things that was kind of interesting I'd read in a book was that the Fokker triplane originally was not going to have those big struts on the outer wings. It was just going to have the cabane struts holding the upper wing on, which they later did with the D8, which was the monoplane. But the advisors told Fokker that the German military is way too conservative to go for that, so you better put the struts on. And might be a good thing that he did, but would have sped the plane up a little bit, probably made it a little weaker, but there's your bit of trivia for the day. You'll notice the Fokker designs had somewhat thicker wings than a lot of the other World War I aircraft, so clearly they had beefier wing spars on them. Well, that's the little bit I got done. I did have the Zoom session last night with Lucas C, and so probably Friday or Saturday, whenever he does, he posts his videos, we'll be up on that with a nice long chat. Had a lot of fun. Great guy. Really very dedicated model guy. So here's a shout out to Lucas C and his buddy Andy at Andy's Hobby Headquarters. And he told me something about Andy's Hobby Headquarters I didn't realize, but I do really appreciate him. We've got a wonderful hobby shop here, Hurricane Hobbies, but Andy's is dedicated to plastic scale models, to scale models. You know, no RCs or trains. At least I don't think he does trains. And the point is that it's probably one of the only remaining committed model shops, and that's just it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. One of these points, I'm getting out to Phoenix to go see that place and visit those guys. So that's where we are with that. And oh boy, so many things I'd love to talk about, but I have to go get ready to go to work. I want to also give a shout out again to Orange Tabby, because some of those supplies he sent me are getting used to particularly these sanding sticks. I had run out of sanding sticks, and that's the one thing I couldn't seem to locate, and a bunch of them came in that stuff he gave me, and I had forgotten just how handy those things really are. You know, that brings up an interesting sort of question of the day. Sanding is a big part of this hobby, you know, between, you know, sealing gaps and everything. And by the way, I do want to give a quick shout out to this Deluxe brand Perfect Plastic Putty. And no, I don't take advertising. It's just I had used some Tamiya putty, the gray stuff, which is really, really good stuff. And I had used some testers, which is okay stuff, been around a long time. But this stuff is a little more liquidy when it comes out of the tube, and it has a little dispenser on the end, and it's a little easier to get down into the seams. You ever, you know, use one of these putties, and when you sand it down, there's still a hole. Somehow the putty didn't intrude into the gap, or maybe when, you know, you were manipulating, you actually pulled it out. This stuff is a lot better about that. And that's just my little tip for the day. Try it yourself, dries fairly quickly, and apparently there's a stage in there where it's malleable, so which it doesn't go straight from gooey to ready to be sanded. So, but my question of the day is, do you guys have a particular process or method of sanding that you prefer? I'm sort of getting into the, you know, use the coarser grit, usually just some folded sandpaper to wipe, you know, to get the big stuff off, and then move the grades down. Then eventually wind up polishing it with some really super fine grit, and then of course the tack cloth to wipe it down, then the tack cloth to make sure it's clean, and then wipe after the tack cloth. I got to remember wipe it down again, maybe even with a little water in case some of the adhesive from the tack cloth. I think that may be what caused those imperfections on the GB. And of course then you hit it with a primer, and then you can see how good a job you did. But just curious if you guys had a particular technique for sanding or something, because I'm always willing to learn. There's a lot of great knowledge out there, and I'm sure some of you guys have invented some pretty cool techniques to do a lot of things. Well, we'll talk at you later. More pictures are still rolling in for the viewers build, so obviously I won't get to that for the next 4 days. I don't know how much, if any, content I'll get out from the road. We'll see how it just, you know, can never make promises on that. But now that's all I got for this morning. Guys, you take care of yourselves, and as always, model on. I'll never quit you. Sadness? Yes, my lord. I hear and obey. Teddy has to go to work now. Brilliant. Did all of that and forgot to get the glue. Just brilliant. And it forgot to seal it too. Genius, Max. You're just a genius. Okay. Time to go get ready for... Forgot the glue. Genius, Max. You're just a genius.